Well, guys, I'm Steve. Welcome back to the channel. Welcome back to another video. If it's your first time stopping by the channel, hit that subscribe button. Trust me, you won't regret it. You're a returning subscriber as always, guys. Welcome back, and I do appreciate support. Guys, got a crazy video I'm going to show you out of Chicago, Illinois. Shout out Chicago. And it's about some thieves that looked like they were in the upscale part of Chicago, where they took burglary tools in broad daylight and broke into a Rolex watch store window with tourists and multiple people just walking up and down the street like they weren't even there. And then they ran off with hundreds of thousands of Rolex watches, according to reports. There's no shame out here right now with the way people are with this brazen thievery. And it shows how easy it is and popular it is to just steal stuff, no matter what it is. This story right here, to me, is really stupid because they were caught, and you'll see that video too. And when you put this whole thing in a nutshell, ain't none of this worth your freedom lost. They talk about bringing the National Guard out there to Chicago. A lot of people are, on the fence on that. Videos like this surfacing ain't gonna do nothing but power the president to go and do what he want to do out there in Chicago and send them in there. And some people probably is welcoming this. And that's the part that's crazy. Take a look.
Developing tonight, several suspects in custody following a burglary at the Rolex store on the Mag Mile.
WGN's Angelica Sanchez speaking just a little while ago with the alderman there, and she joins us with the very latest tonight. Angelica?
That's right. Well, as you can see, guys, the store has been boarded up behind me. Alderman Brian Hopkins says that cameras got a good look at all the suspects involved, and they will be facing felony charges. Crews work to clean up the glass from two shattered windows outside the Rolex boutique on Michigan Avenue.
Caused a lot of damage, unnecessary damage.
Rolex is an iconic brand known for high-end luxury watches. Chicago police say this all began with 4 male suspects breaking out the exterior glass windows of the boutique. Police say the suspects managed to get their hands on merchandise inside.
It actually took some time for them to break through this tempered glass using their burglary tools and their fire axes that they had.
Alderman Brian Hopkins says a burglary on Michigan Avenue in the middle of the day is unheard of.
We've seen our share of smash and grabs on Michigan Avenue. I don't recall any in the middle of the day surrounded by tourists and conventioners and people walking down the street.
CPD and Alderman Hopkins confirmed there is no evidence of gunfire despite earlier reports.
The store security guard thought he heard gunfire, but after further review, it turns out it was just the sound of this reinforced glass breaking. It was so loud it sounded like gunfire.
Police say the suspects got away on foot before getting inside a red Nissan SUV and fleeing southbound from the store. Skycam flew over a large police presence at 71st and Halsted. We believe this is where police took a total of 6 suspects into custody.
We have excellent video evidence. There was a police camera on Michigan Avenue that had the entire field of vision for the Rolex store. We have a clear view of all the offenders.
Alderman Hopkins says 9 watches have been recovered by police.
They tell me it's in the hundreds of thousands, so these will definitely be felony charges.
Alderman Hopkins adds that one of the suspects left DNA evidence behind. He says store employees are going through inventory to make sure no other merchandise was taken. Live on the Mag Mile tonight, Angelica Sanchez, WGN News.
New video shows a frightening scene on Michigan Avenue in broad daylight as people were leaving work.
A robbery crew using axes to smash their windows at the Rolex store and steal watches.
Our Marissa Sulik just spoke with the alderman in the area and has some new developments to share. Marissa?
Joe and Eric, as you can see behind me, the windows are all boarded up here at the Rolex store after what took place. This happened around 2:30 this afternoon as people were walking by, some capturing this all on their phones. Robbers seen using axes to smash through the side window and display case on East Huron. They then reach in and grab a couple watches before they run off. Some watches seen left dangling from the window.
I don't think Rolex thought could be broken. They found out the hard way. If you've got enough leverage on a hatchet, you could break through.
Alderman Brian Hopkins says he does not recall a smash and grab like this in the middle of the afternoon when the streets are filled with tourists and shoppers. Chicago police say 4 men in masks broke the glass.
This was a successful robbery. They have recounted. They are missing watches. This was successful.
The robbers fled in a red Nissan Murano and sent police on a chase down the Dan Ryan. They then crashed the SUV into a parked car near 69th and Peoria in the Englewood neighborhood. Police scanner traffic says the men were seen throwing items out the windows, presumably watches.
Honestly, it's sad.
Lamont Evans is with the Restorative Project, a group that responds to violence in the community. We talked to him about how this happened as President Trump is threatening to bring the National Guard to Chicago.
If we bring more resources to the community, more jobs, more federal funding, then maybe we wouldn't have to deal with the backlash of things like this.
We were able to arrest these 6 offenders. I'm not sure what the National Guard could have done.
Tonight, police were seen collecting evidence outside the Rolex store as they continued their investigation. People walking by in shock by the debris and scene left behind. In the end, Chicago police say 6 men were arrested. Chicago police say there were no injuries reported. Alderman Hopkins says that 9 watches were recovered from that scene in Englewood, but the Rolex store is doing their own inventory check to see if more watches might be out there. Alderman Hopkins also says that Chicago police used one of their new helicopters to track that car down during the chase. We're live in the Gold Coast. Marissa Sulik, CBS News, Chicago. Joe, Erica.
Thanks, Marissa.
That's some shameful shit right there. And I'm going to tell you something. Let me just say this to y'all. I'm going to just speak freely with you guys. I ain't going to have no formatted video. I'm just going to talk with y'all. The guy that was talking looked like he was a community activist. He said something that is very clichéic. Maybe if we had more resources and maybe we had more jobs, then maybe, quote unquote, maybe we would see a better end to this. That is the most clichéic line I have ever heard that is out here. Kids was acting bad. Oh, wait, maybe we need more resource centers or we need more centers where the kids can come together and play and do all this type of stuff. A lot of young children now have the mind filled with criminal intent. And a lot of times it's what they see, hear, you know, either in music, movies, or whatever. The temptation is always out there. Same thing with adults now. When these children turn adults, this shit is stupid. That was tempered glass, thick tempered glass. It took time. They had sledgehammers and axes. And if you paid attention to the one picture, I think I'll put it here, where they broke one window first, then went and broke another window. How long you think that took? 2 or 3 minutes or 5 to 7 minutes? Come on, I work with tempered glass all the time. One of the guys left his DNA on the thing, so it means he got cut. Took multiple watches, grabbed the watches real quick. Some watches were still out there on the display, out in the open. They jump in a Nissan Murano. So you get in an economy car in case you got to get in the car chase and crash the car into some poor person's car parked on their street. The whole time you running from the police when they on your ass with the helicopter and the squad cars, you're throwing what you stole out the window. So what was it really worth to you compared to your freedom? Nothing. People have no value of shit. They see stuff and just steal it. It's unacceptable. Unacceptable. A lot of people are addicted to the high of doing crazy shit and seeing if they can get away with it. What do you do with this type of person? That window, the damage in that window alone is probably worth more than the net worth of all 3 of them people combined. So they stole hundreds of thousands of watches, then threw them out in the street as if the evidence was not going to tie them to it. It makes no sense that this type of stuff is happening. And they're talking about bringing the National Guard in there. And then, you know, what they basically doing right now, they're doing experimentary ways of fighting crime. But they're setting it up for a bigger agenda. They don't even have to do that. I ain't lying. If I was president, I would have strict rules to where you do this, the outcome is that. What these people did, I would take them out of society. I would. You bold enough to do that in a city you live, where people come to see the sights and all this type of stuff, and people always talking about repping for your city. What the fuck was that? What is that? People have no value of nothing. You could give these motherfuckers that money, the monetary value of the exact stuff they stole, dollar for dollar. And what do you think they would do with that money? Think they would invest it? Think they would double the money? Think they would do something big with it to better their lives? No. They'll do what they do, run through it, and then on to the next one. Next heist. You gotta be a bold motherfucker to do that shit downtown where there's a lot of fucking cops at. I don't know who the hell made up that plan, but he the one that need his ass beat out of all of them. Even the ones that followed him. You run and go steal a bunch of watches. Probably didn't even know what individual type the watches was. You just saw the Rolex sign and went in there and broke the shit down. Stupid stuff. It's like baboon shit. I see videos where they have exterminators running around with guns, hiding in the damn mountains and in the bushes and all this type of stuff, catching baboons, breaking into houses and doing all this type of stuff, and they be ending them as soon as they see them breaking and entering and trying to. They're going to start setting it up where it's going to be like that. How long you think these billion-dollar companies are going to keep taking losses? These are ones that put money in presidents' pockets and candidates, sponsoring them in their presidential race. How long you think that the upper echelon, where everybody's achieving to be and not knowing what it's really about up there, how long you think they're going to deal with this? They got you on camera. Multiple people pulled their phones out. You looking stupid as hell, taking your time breaking in to tear shit up and looking bad for you and your city if visitors come there and say, damn, I ain't coming here no more. People don't care. That's the part that's sad. It was never cool to be a thief. But nowadays, that's the new shit. You wonder why we are where we are right now. Something needs to be done. I don't give a fuck if you stealing expensive watches or running in the store and grabbing a bunch of clothes and running out. You look stupid as shit. You look stupid. No good comes from that. Then you get the shit and don't even sell it for the value of what it is just to get you some pocket change or this, because you got to get rid of it now. That is a no-win. It's nothing really profitable about that. What's advantageous about that? Nothing. Nothing. All of them caught. All of them going to jail. All of them looking stupid when they go for their arraignment here. All of them can't afford a lawyer, so they got public defenders, the ultimate play out. That money that you stole, if it's $100,000, just two of y'all, and it looked like 3 or 4 people, just 2 of y'all equal in 1 year of incarceration with a public defender because you ain't getting out. They done made their money back. And then add the other ones that was involved plus interest. Was it like $50,000 an inmate every year? And it got to be more. That was in 2000. It got to be more. People running around here trying to do gangster shit and stuff like that, and they playing themselves out in jail because the only people that benefit is the ones in higher places that sit you on a shelf and make money off you being in jail. Done with it. Stock Market Steve for the Dynamic Reason channel. As always, like, comment, share, and subscribe. I said it before. The guy said if they needed more jobs or if they had better resources, this type don't care about resources, and they damn sure don't care about jobs, because the job that this type can get ain't gonna be able to afford no Rolex watch. So they gonna do what they do to get what they get. And if I was in charge, they'd really get what they get, what they should get. I'll see you in the next video. Take care.